Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Lieutenant Stephen Rogers. I am back. We've had a great broadcast earlier, folks. We already got a couple of thousand hits, and it's growing. And it's interesting because earlier we talked about, for those of you who did see us, about how people need to get involved, how they need to run for office, how they need to get involved in their local, state, county, and federal governments. And as I said earlier, we've got a number of fine people on this broadcast right now who took up that challenge, who decided not to just be a spectator, but to be a participant in helping make historical change for their country, for their state, for their county, and for the locality. So I now want to introduce to you these wonderful people who I know personally, impeccable integrity, and have really stepped up to the plate. So first we have here Mary Jo, please pronounce your last name. I always mess things up. Mary Jo, we're going to put you, I just unmuted you. How's that?
There you go. Ginchard. Mary Jo Ginchard.
All right, Mary Jo, thank you. And we're going to go down and we're going to go to Linda Barba. Linda?
Lieutenant, thank you very much for having us on. We really appreciate it, and we're excited to be on your show tonight.
Thank you. And Linda, if you could speak up a little, that would be terrific. And we have Paul Duggan.
Yes, Paul Duggan. Pleasure to be here, Lieutenant.
All right. Now that I pretty well messed up everybody's name, this last fellow, I certainly don't want to mess his name up. And this is Frank Pilata. Frank, Frank, you've been a good friend. Taylor, it's a pleasure to know you. Thank you for joining us.
Oh, thank you. It's great to be here again, Lieutenant. Thank you so much for having us all on.
Now, folks, I invited them specifically on the air tonight because they're regular people like us who decided to stand up and to speak out and to address a lot of the problems that our country, our state, our county, and localities are facing. So I want to give them the opportunity to share with you tonight exactly where they're headed and what some of their policies are and what they're looking to do. Because tomorrow, here in New Jersey, it's election day, primary day. And we're working very hard to get people in office that truly represent we the people. So, Mary Ann, if you don't mind, I'd like to start with you. If you can introduce yourself in the office you're running for, and then it's all yours.
All right. Well, first of all, thank you so much, Lieutenant, for having us back on. You are truly so wonderful and such an American. And we need so many more people like you that just keep everything going for all of us. So thank you for giving us this platform this evening.
You're welcome.
But my name is Mary Jo Ginchard. I'm running for Bergen County Commissioner, and we have an amazing team. And I'd first like to say it's column one. Tomorrow is primary day here in New Jersey, and the column consists of the following. The top of our ticket for District 5 is Frank Pilata, who is Congress. Then it's Linda Barba, who is for County Executive. Then we have three commissioners, and they are Paul Duggan, who you will hear from shortly, Angelique Hakim, and then myself. And just to tell you a little bit about myself, I am not your typical politician. I am not a career politician at all. I went and got my degree in college for musical theater and voice performance. And in my career, I would be the liaison between the company and the producers. And because of that, I really enjoyed very much the relationship between the two, and if there were issues between the company or even just doing housekeeping duties, call it, between the production staff and the actors, I found that I enjoyed that type of the business as well, as much as I did as being on stage. Time went by and I became a mother. I have a wonderful husband, 3 children, and it took me back to New York, and where I retired for a little bit. And that's where I was asked to run for office. I became a trustee in the village of Tuxedo Park, which is similar to being a council person in some communities. And then I became mayor of the village of Tuxedo Park. And after I became mayor, I was appointed on the planning board of Orange County, New York. I really enjoyed all 3 of those positions. And what did they have in common with what I did in my acting career of being the liaison between the company and the production staff? Helping people, communication. And that really is why I decided when I was asked to run as a trustee, and then now when I was asked to run for Bergen County Commissioner, that's really what it's about, is helping people, but not just helping, being their voice. I always say, if a politician says to you, I'm here to help, kind of run, because do they really help? Well, I'll just leave that for the citizens to answer that question. We're in the position that we're in today because they said that they were going to help us, and we see what's going on with gas prices and baby formula, et cetera. What we need to do is do our job and perform and work. So that's what I did in my, times of being a trustee and as a mayor, and when I was asked to be on the planning board of Orange County. For Bergen County Commissioner, there's so much that we need to do. We have so many issues right now, not just in Bergen County, but across the country. But to focus on Bergen County, the parental issues. Parents have really lost their rights in the schools for their voices. I feel that we can be alongside them, to be by their side, to have their voices be heard. Why are they not given the voice that they need to be given? Then there's the issues of the police. The police are not being given the respect that they should have. We should not tolerate that at all. Then there are the services that they have deserved. Linda will be touching upon certain issues of the potholes in the roads, the conditions that they're dealing with. None of those issues have been really addressed. Those issues need to be addressed. Residents should not have to worry about, if they are paying tax dollars, that certain things that their tax dollars should be paying for are not being addressed. They're paying a lot in taxes right now. Where is that tax money going? Well, as a mayor, one of your primary duties with your trustees, or as we call them trustees, or council people, as other boards call them, your duty is to look at that budget, make sure that budget is correct. We're finding that in some places on this budget, the money may not be going into the places it should be allocated to. So that's something that this team will be definitely looking at. I know Linda has been scouring this budget endless hours during this campaign, at nights, looking at, is there nepotism going on? Are they not bidding contracts correctly, which we should be doing, not just awarding a contract to the first person that puts in a bid, but several people should be putting in bids to make sure that we are guaranteeing to the taxpayer that we got the best bid for their tax dollars. So there's several things: safety of neighborhoods, police, parental rights, being fiscally responsible. Then there's the energy that we're all dealing with gas prices, which really, it's not under our umbrella, but we will be able to talk to our congressman, which I am sure is going to be Congressman Pallotta. I would love to call him Congressman Pallotta, but we can at least have a direct link to our congressman to say, we are dealing with this. This is what we're hearing from our residents. And I know he will be having a direct ear because he's that type of a person. But then he can also be we can also be that other person for him. He can't be everywhere all at the same time, but that's where we can help. So as a team, we work collectively together, but we aren't all puppets. And I think that's a really important thing to tell the residents. We all have our own minds, our own points of view, and we can work together and collectively come together, respecting each other, and come to the best solutions for their tax dollars. So that's why I'm running for office.
Well, thank you. Thanks so much, Mary Jo. Okay, Linda, it's you're up. Okay, Linda, we can't hear you. Are you unmuted?
I don't think Linda can hear you, sir.
Yeah. Now, Linda.
I think.
Okay. How about
problem hearing?
Paul? Do you? All right. Frank, can you hear me?
do.
Frank, can you hear me? Okay. Paul, you can hear me?
I certainly can.
Okay. So Linda is probably having a little problem with her incoming and outgoing. I'll text her. But all right, Paul, why don't we go to you? If you could begin to share, your name and the position you're running to, and then we'll get to Linda.
Yeah, my name is Paul Duggan, born in Dublin in Ireland. Came over here in 1989, as I said, the right way, the legal way, the only way. I'm a professional civil servant, and I've been that after I had a career in business and with the federal government. I'm running for Bergen County Commissioner. It used to be called a freeholder until they messed up the name because they couldn't define it. Basically, it is the councillor for the county. Each and every position within the county and within the state is a microcosm, and the policies reflect everybody else's policies in the state. So the reason why I am running is to try and restore some semblance of sanity back to county government.
All right, Paul, I think we somehow froze up there. Okay. All right, so we lost Paul there. This is going great. I'll tell you, folks, I guess some of these late night signals or something. Well, okay, so Linda and Paul, we'll try to get them back. And so, Congressman, we're gonna go to you. How's that sound, Congressman?
I think that's good. Could you hear me?
Yes,
Can you hear me?
Thank God. I said, if I can't hear him, I'm just going to break for a very long commercial. Linda, are you with us? Okay.
Linda.
Okay, we're back. Go ahead, Congressman.
Okay. We'll jump. We'll move ahead. We'll bounce around. Well, as Mary Jo said, Lieutenant, thank you so much for having us all on. I think Mary Jo touched on this early on. I know Paul did, and Linda feels the same way. We're a team of 5 with one mission. It is our plan to make sure that we create a level of transparency around the district, not just for the voters, but for all the business owners, that they know what we're doing here. Mary Jo and the team also brought up a number of great points that whether I'm in DC or whether I'm in district, we serve the people who we were elected to serve, Steve. And that's the plan. My background is 28 years in the private sector, mostly in the financial services sector on the economic side. I think that's relevant in the world we're living in now. Lieutenant, we talked about where New Jersey sits on a number of different metrics. From a jobs and an economic standpoint, our state lags pretty dramatically. They lag in jobs. They lag in job growth. We lag in taxes. And mostly we lag on people who are leaving our state because of the high tax base and the job situation. So, the job, not just of the commissioners and as a county executive, but me as a United States congressman, it's still a very, very local job. I want to do this local job. Mary Jo is a mayor. Linda's a small business owner. Paul, as we mentioned, is a civil servant. We live and breathe what our residents live and breathe every single day. Josh Gottheimer is not connected to the people at all. He never was. He was a Clintonite who believes this is an entitled position. Everyone on this slate knows that we have a job to do, and we are the last person. We personally are the last people who expect anything. We're here to serve, and we know that, and the slate was basically handpicked by everyone else. We've got a number of issues in this state, in addition to what we talked about. Steve, everyone's waking up over the last 6 or 8 months to $5 gas. We're waking up to inflation. We're waking up to an increase in crime, and we're waking up to empty shelves and lines. And we've not had this in this country in a very, very long time. We're looking at inflation rates, Steve, that we haven't seen in 43 years. We're looking at people who are struggling in a market where we should not be struggling, simply because we have a congressional base in this state that is 10-2 Democrats, and they've got no practical private sector experience, none. In fact, Mikey Sherrill, Josh Gottheimer, and Andy Kim combined only have 8 years of private sector experience. We lag from an economic standpoint, Lieutenant, in this state because we have people in Congress that don't know what it's like. Linda's run a small business. Mary Jo has helped run a small town. Paul is out there slugging it out every day. So, and myself, I own a small business after a private sector career. So I think it's important that we create a level of transparency, Steve, with our voters, where they know everyone on this screen wakes up every day just to live for what they need solved. Their children. It's issues with CRT in schools. There's issues with vaccine mandates. Everywhere we look, we think that the switch in the party that we've seen a little less than 2 years ago has moved this country down a road that no one on this listening or no one on the screen wants to see. And it's our job to make sure that all of our focus, all of our time, like Jim Jordan when he rolls up his sleeves, that's what all of us are going to do. And we're going to make sure, Steve, that we do what's right and what's in the best interest of the people we are elected to serve. And I can't wait to do that. So thank you again for the time, Steve.
And Congressman, stand by, because I'll have a few questions for you in relation to some very critical federal issues we're now talking about. Do you have a few minutes? I want to introduce Linda first.
Hi, everyone.
Sure.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
I
yes, we
finally
can,
put
Linda.
my
Thank
earbuds
you.
in, Lieutenant, and I listened to you. I couldn't hear any of you. So if I'm in the dark of what everyone said, I apologize. But it's an exciting night for us, Lieutenant. We have worked very, very hard. It's the night before our election. We all feel very good about our positions and about winning. And the great thing about this team is we're all like-minded. So when we go to the table and we have to make decisions, we are all like-minded. We all have the same good intentions to just make this county a much better county for everyone. We all know businesses are our lifeline, and we want to make it a very business-friendly county. We want to fix our roads. We want to make every single one of our residents. We want to work with our mayors. Mary Jo had mentioned in one of her speeches, and we spoke about it, where we have combined services. We have to look into that. We have to look into the current applications or any work that's on the table that they're anticipating having done. And we need to prioritize, and we need to say, do we really need the money to go there right now, or should we fix our roads? Our roads are in the worst shape they've ever been. Our taxes are through the roof. And you know what's nice about this team is we all want unity in our party. And we all really have the same thought process, and we just have good intentions, and we just want to make sure that on day one, we're ready to go. We just need to get through tomorrow, and I think we're all very confident in tomorrow's results that we will come out on top. We have a great leader on the top of our ticket, Frank Pallotta. You can't get better than that. And we have an awesome team. I'm very confident. I can't wait to work with Mary Jo and Angelique and Paul, because I know it's going to be a very, very, very good team, and a very, we're anxious to get started. So who's anxious to go to work? Unless you really love what you do and you believe in what you do. So the only thing that I want to emphasize to everyone is the importance of voting and the importance of getting out. The last gubernatorial race, the Republican turnout was not sufficient, and it was not good. We may have gotten over the finish line if more Republicans turned out. So I'm pleading with the Republicans to please take notice. We are in desperate need of it in our county, and we need column one, this amazing team, to get us all there. I'm a resident of Bergen County for over 40 years, and I see the difference in the county. I see the deterioration in the county. When I speak to residents, they all have the same complaints, obviously, the taxes, the roads, the infrastructure, all the building that's going on. People are concerned that the infrastructure can support it. Our bridges are deteriorating. Our bridges need desperate work. So we're ready for the task. We've already reviewed the budgets. We've discussed the budgets. And I think we're all ready for the task, and we're ready to win tomorrow and on to November. And we are the only team that could beat the Democrats in November. So,
as the three of you know, my wife and I have been all over the country doing this with candidates, but we have never been more excited over a ticket than this one, because it is unique. And so, Mary Jo, I'd like you to talk about real quickly, because I'm going to put the congressman on the spot in a few minutes. If you could, both of you, Mary Jo and Linda, if you could quickly tell us the real uniqueness of this ticket, and I bring it up because it is a ticket that should receive the support of the party. And I know there's been issues there, but it's certainly receiving the support of the people. So if you could just share with our viewers the real uniqueness of this wonderful ticket.
Linda, do you want to take it first, or
you can go first, Mary Jo. It's fine.
Okay. Well, I think what's really, first of all, unique about the ticket is you've got 3 women on this ticket. And Frank Pallotta put this team together. And it wasn't because we were women only, but because we were qualified to be on the ticket. And that's the important thing, that we were qualified women, and he recognized that, and he placed us all on the ticket. That's what I think is incredible. And I applaud him for doing that, because a lot of people may have steered away from that, thinking, why do you want to put three women on one ticket? But we're qualified, and we're beyond qualified. And what I find also incredible, we all 3 come from different careers, but yet have such strong tools of each of our careers that we complete the pie collectively, and then with Paul, which is really wonderful, because Paul really adds such a beautiful, when he spoke about, the colors I want him to kind of re-quote what he said last time, but it takes such a beautiful combination to make a group gel together. And this group has that beautiful combination. And this is what you have. This is what you have in this ticket.
Extraordinary group. Frank, it's like you being a Michelangelo, for goodness sake. You painted a wonderful, beautiful portrait here. That's good for you. Linda?
Yeah, you know what? I agree. I agree with everything that Mary Jo said. Our chemistry is just amazing, and which is a rarity. And stressful times when you are campaigning, because we're working so hard and tirelessly, but we all kept it together, and we all were very respectful to one another through this entire process, which means that we have a great respect for one another, and we admire everyone's accomplishments on this team. And we all know our strong points and what we can contribute. And I think, as Mary Jo said, we all bring something different to the table, but collectively, it's everything that we need at the table. So, so I agree with Mary Jo. I feel sorry for Paul and Frank, because they have 3 women, 3 strong women, and they're still smiling at us. So that's good. We weren't too tough. But again, you know what? Very excited that Frank is leading our column. And I'm very honored and very impressed by us all. So I hope everybody else is, and they get out and vote tomorrow, and they tell every single person to please come out and vote for us as well, because you will not regret voting for us. Thank
Linda,
you,
I'm
Lieutenant.
going to ask you first, and then Mary Jo, and then I'll certainly get to the congressman here. Poor Paul, his screen froze up. He didn't really have a chance to share with people who he is and what's he running for. Could you do that on his behalf, and then Mary Jo on Hakeem's behalf? They're part of the team.
So Paul is running for commissioner, and Paul brings a lot of wisdom. Paul has been in the political arena for a while. He's ran for county executive as well. So we've learned a lot from Paul as well. And you know what? Paul is really easy to work with, and he's a very impressive guy, and we're excited to have Paul on our team.
And Mary Jo?
Oh, Mary Jo muted.
Mary Jo?
I'm now unmuted.
Okay,
Paul,
there you go.
he tried, it says connecting, just to let you know, he's trying to reconnect.
Okay.
So about Angelique Hakeem. Angelique was born in Lebanon. She became a United States citizen 16 years ago. Angelique has seen the good, the bad, and the ugly of being in a country of Lebanon. I've never seen someone who has such strength and character as Angelique. She makes me feel that if I have a bad day, it cannot be a bad day, because no one can have any worse of a life than I think this woman has gone through in what she did when she lived in Lebanon. And then when she came to this country, she so loves America and is so appreciative for what America has given her. And she doesn't want America to become Lebanon. And to hear her story, I cannot even do it justice, Lieutenant, because hearing it come from her heart, there's no way I can express the passion that she gives. But all I can say is we are so lucky to have her as part of the team, because it's something you don't learn. It is something that truly is in her soul. And she sees a perspective of America that we have been so fortunate to be born to be part of America. And and I think Paul can touch upon this because Paul came from Ireland. So he sees America through a set of eyes of coming to this country. But she really understands if we lose the grasp of America, she has lived in that war zone of a country that she doesn't want America to go into. And so I just think we are so fortunate to have someone of her strength, her character. She's a small business owner. She is very smart. And what she brings to the table is incredible.
Thank you. Paul, welcome back. Oh, Paul, we have to unmute you.
Unmute you.
Okay, unmute yourself. Paul, if we know that if you maybe put earplugs in, you might be able to speak to us. So try to, you're unmuted here. Okay. No, cannot hear you, Paul. I'll tell you what, Paul, I got an idea. How we can do this quickly. Call me up. I just text you my number and we'll talk to you over the phone. Okay. And so there you go. You know, Frank, as they say in the military, improvise. So we have improvised. I had to do this a few times the last broadcast. We having connection problems. Yep. They just pull me up, you know. And well, let's see. He should be calling shortly. So, folks, we've got. Here we go. Here we go. Hope it's not Joe's Pizza. Paul, are you there? Here we go, guys. Can you hear Paul?
Not really.
Paul, okay, Paul, you there?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm here.
All right,
Okay.
Paul, could you please, thanks for coming on tonight, Paul. Could you please share with us your name and the office you're running for? And, just share with the people 5 minutes or so what you're going to be doing moving forward as a commissioner.
Thank you. Yeah, again, my name is Paul Duggan. I'm running for the county commissioner slot. And I'm very honored to be on that ticket. And just to take up also on Mary's point, and it is a very, very valid point, is that when I came over here to embrace everything that America has, from the Bill of Rights, from the Constitution. And what I certainly didn't do is I did not exchange or come over to travel over 3,500 miles to exchange one version of socialism for another. And that is very, very important, because when you come to America, there's a process. It's a long process. Sometimes it's difficult, sometimes it's not so difficult. But at the end of the day, it's a process where you assimilate and you become an American citizen. You don't become a dual citizen, you become an American citizen. And unfortunately, from what I have witnessed here, there are forces within our republic who want to get rid of all that, who want to think that we're just one giant conglomerate and with absolutely no values or anything. And the things that make America basically is the flag, the English language, the common culture of ours, the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, and a common purpose. And on this anniversary of D-Day, I definitely have to question whether we would be, as a society, would be up to the task of storming the beaches against tyranny again. And I sincerely hope that we would be able to do it, but I question the people that are trying to tear down the institutions that would not make that possible in the future. And that is why, another reason why I'm running. I'm running for a lot of reasons, and they are noble reasons. they're honest reasons. And basically character is one of those things that you do, the character, you exude the character when nobody is looking. And I am very, very proud as a civil servant to be able to help the people every single day. And I'm here now at this particular point in my life to say, look, we have a problem. Let's fix it. Let's all fix it. Let's cherish what we have here in the United States. And please, as only freedom and liberty are only one generation from extinction here, please, oh please, cherish what we have and try and do this together and come to some common purpose to do it. And I am optimistic and hopeful that at the end of the day that we will prevail, because I think people, the silent majority, won't put up with the nonsense anymore.
Well, I'll tell you, Paul, thanks so much. I mean, you really articulated that well. And could you let us know the line you're on? And
yes, it is line 1 with Frank all the way down. Frank Blodgett, who will be a fantastic congressman who will sort out all of the ills from Washington all the way down. Linda will be at the helm in the county, and we will be, myself, Mary, and Angelique will be behind her in implementing stuff on the ground with the budgets and basically disseminating honest government to honest people.
Well, thank you, Paul. Now, Paul, hang on there. I'm going to get to the congressman now, and then we're going to wrap things up. He did ask me earlier, are there going to be any questions? I said, absolutely not. Well, I wasn't being that truthful there, Congressman. So there is a question, okay? And I
sure.
also you are probably going to be one of the 5 that are going to flip the seats enough for us to take control, for conservatives to take control of the Congress. But here's the question, because all day people have been asking me about this, and you're going to be our next congressman there. So I'm going to ask you the question. As you and I speak tonight, there are 10,000 illegal aliens ready to cross that border. 10,000. They're from Guatemala. They're from Mexico. They're from Somalia, I heard tonight. And Lord knows who else is in that mix. So Congress has done nothing. They really haven't done anything. Forget about the president. He's going to do nothing. But we're dependent on gentlemen like you who are going to start to get the ball rolling to do something. So could you give us an idea of your perspective on this and any ideas you have on how we could really, truly tackle this problem?
Sure. Thank you, Steve. Look, I think everyone knows here, the United States, we're the most benevolent country the world's ever known. Our borders have been open and managed for 2 centuries. People like Paul and people who come to this country, regardless of where they come from their countries, and they bring a piece of who they are and they add to who we are. And we need that, and we need to keep that going. But Paul said something interesting in the beginning, and we know that Angelique, if she was on, she would say this. They came over the right way. When you come over the right way, when you come over the border and you assimilate into this country, again, you bring a piece of you, but you assimilate to the country that you're coming into. What we've seen happen and what we've allowed this Democrat administration to do is this open borders policy that is ruining the country. And it's not just because people are coming in. It's a process that doesn't make sense. They're pouring over the borders. We're looking at situations from a drug standpoint, from a job standpoint, where it's not sustainable. So it would be my view to make sure that we immediately put ourselves in a position where, look, for lack of a better phrase, great countries are made from great borders. And we have to put them in place, and we have to make sure that we're vetting people that come over. You and I spoke a little bit about this, I think a week ago or so, Lieutenant, where Canada has a process where people come into Canada. They're vetted, they're sponsored, and they immediately add to the tax base for the most part when they cross the border. We need that here. We need people to come across the borders, and we need them to immediately at least present the scenario where they will add to the fabric of the country and to the tax base. We need to make sure that this country continues to grow. We grow in a very diverse way, but we do it in a legal way, in a way that we've been able to do for 200 years, Steve. So I would make sure that our border policies are benevolent, they're sound, they make a lot of sense for the country, they let us grow as an economic power, but they're done the right way.
Well, Congressman, county exec, commissioners, I thank you all for joining me tonight. I know it's getting late. You got a lot of work to do. I look forward to the victory party sometime after Election Day, not only the primary victory party, but the general election. I have a lot of faith and confidence in you. And by the way, when we talked last time, I did get a lot of responses. The inspiration that you all have given people is just is incredible. I mean, it's incredible. So thank you all. Thank you all. God bless you, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye. All right, folks. So that's it. You talk about heroes every day, right, folks? And we've got a group of heroes here. So go out, support them, vote for them. A vote for them is a vote for America. Thank you. God bless you all. I'm Lieutenant Stephen Rogers. Have a great evening.
Good night.